Welcome back to the studio. You're tuned in to Jeremiah's Brain Masters, the ultimate podcast where we test, bust, and completely upgrade the minds of those adults out there. I'm your host, Jeremiah.
And I'm Mason. That's right. Adults, pack up your boring news and your stock market reports because we are officially taking over your speakers to bring you some actual fun.
We've pulled a brand new, completely random selection out of our massive menu of knowledge today, and it's time to get into it. Mason, hit him with the facts! Alright, today you're tuned in to Jeremiah's Brain Masters, which is officially live!
Yep, today we're going to talk about this squishy, salty, room-freshening wall putty that conquered the toy world.
Alright, most adults think that Play-Doh was always a toy. Nope. It was invented to clean your filthy, soot-covered 1930s houses.
In 1933, Cincinnati, Ohio was a dark, gloomy place. Why? Because every single adult heated their home by burning giant chunks of coal in a basement furnace.
The problem this created is that burning coal creates an absolute mountain of black, greasy soot. It floated up through the vents and coated everything, couches, carpets, and especially the nice wallpaper. The catch was that back then, wallpaper was made of regular paper, not vinyl. If you tried to wash it with a wet sponge, the paper would literally melt and slide off the wall. Homes looked like haunted caves.
A tiny Cincinnati soap company called Koodle Products was about to go totally bankrupt. They were down to their last dollars.
A 21-year-old guy named Cleo McVicker was just hired to sell off the company's remaining assets so they could close down forever. But Leo was too good at his job. He made a massive profit selling off their old hand soap and saved the company at the last second.
Cleo went to a business meeting with the heads of Kroger grocery stores. The Kroger guys asked him, "Hey, do you guys manufacture a wallpaper cleaner? Because everyone's walls are pitch black and we need something to sell." Cleo McVicker had absolutely no idea how to make wallpaper cleaner. Nobody at Koodle Soap did, but because he wanted that Kroger contract, he looked them straight in the eye and said, "Oh, absolutely. We make the best wallpaper cleaner in Ohio."
Cleo ran back to the factory and found his brother, Noah McVicker, was a product developer. Cleo said, "Noah, we need a non-toxic squishy dough that can suck dirt off a wall, and we need it right now." Noah went to the lab and mixed up a simple batch of flour, water, salt, and few secret lubricants. It was squishy, stretchy, and completely plain, boring off white cream color. It worked perfectly. Kroger bought thousands of cans. Imagine you're an adult in 1934 cleaning a living room. You didn't spray anything. You opened a big can, pulled out a massive, cold, clammy lump of dough, and rolled it into a ball. You literally smashed the dough against the wall and rolled it down the paper. The flour and lubricants would stick to the soot, and the salt kept it from rotting.
As you rolled it, the dough turned from cream white to a dark, disgusting, greasy charcoal gray. Once the ball was totally black and covered in chimney soot, you just threw it in the trash and pulled out a fresh lump.
For 20 years, Koodle was the king of clean walls, but then World War II ended and technology changed. Adults stopped using dirty coal furnaces and switched to natural gas and oil heaters.
No coal meant no soot. No soot meant the wallpaper stayed perfectly clean. On top of that, companies started inventing washable vinyl wallpaper that you could just wipe off with a wet rag. By 1953, sales has plummeted to zero. Cleo McVicker passed away, and his son, Joe McVicker, took over a floundering, failing company. They had hit warehouses full of wallpaper dough that nobody wanted.
In 1954, Joe McVicker's sister-in-law, Kay Zufall, was running a nursery school in Dover, New Jersey. It was almost Christmas, and she wanted her little students to make holiday art projects. But regular modeling clay was way too hard for little kids' hands to squeeze, and it left greasy stains everywhere.
Kay read a random tip in a teacher's magazine that said, "Hey, if you can't find clay, go buy some wallpaper cleaning putty. It's cheap, non-toxic, and super soft."
Kay bought a bunch of Koodle's wallpaper cleaner and gave it to the kids. They absolutely loved it. They were rolling in it, making snowmen, and having the time of their lives.
Kay called up Joe McVicker and said, "Joe, you need to come down to my house right now. Your wallpaper cleaner isn't a cleaning product anymore. It's a massive toy."
Joe walked into the classroom, saw a bunch of 4-year-olds building art out of his bankrupt wall putty, and realized he was sitting on a gold mine.
Joe McVicker decided to turn it into a toy, but he was terrible at naming things. His original idea for the product was Koodle's Rainbow Modeling Compound.
Kay Zufall told him that the name was absolutely awful and no kid would ever ask for that. Kay and her husband Bob sat at their kitchen table brainstorming. Kay said, "It's dough that you play with. Let's call it Play-Doh." Joe loved it, dropped his terrible name, and stole theirs. And now for a quick ad break.
Turtle.
1 second, Sea-Wing Dragon Turtle is hanging out with his friends. The next, he's sucked into a portal and trapped in a strange new world.
I'm surviving new world. Definitely don't touch glowy floating stuff.
An evil monster!
Can Turtle survive entirely on his own? Find out on Turtles Pod, a Wings of Fire podcast. Stream it now on Amazon Music, Spotify, YouTube, and more platforms.
The original wallpaper putty had a few problems when used as a toy. If kids left their sculptures on the table, the dough would dry out and turn into a weird crusty white powder.
Joe hired a brilliant chemist named Dr. Tyne Liu to fix the recipe. Dr. Liu added special humectants, things that hold on to water, so it wouldn't dry out instantly, and removed the heavy cleaning agents. He also made it so it kept its bright colors when it dried.
The very first cans of Play-Doh sold in 1956 were just one color, a boring, dull, off-white cream color, packaged in a huge 1-gallon cardboard can meant for schools.
A year later, they realized kids want color. They officially launched the classic trio, red, yellow, and blue.
Joe McVicker didn't have enough money for commercials, so he took a can of Play-Doh to Bob Keeshan, the actor who played Captain Kangaroo, the biggest TV show in the world at the time. The captain loved it so much, he agreed to feature Play-Doh on his show once a week, making it a nationwide overnight sensation. Everyone in the world knows the exact smell of a fresh can of Play-Doh. In 2018, Hasbro did something insane. They officially trademarked the smell with the US government.
According to the official legal trademark, Play-Doh legally smells like a sweet, slightly musky, vanilla-like fragrance with slight overtones of cherry and the natural smell of a salted wheat-based dough.
A company actually created a Play-Doh perfume for adults who want to smell the wall cleaner toy dough all day.
If you took every single can of Play-Doh ever manufactured since 1956 and rolled it into one giant megaball, it'd weigh more than 700 million pounds. That's heavier than 3,000 blue whales.
Over 3 billion cans have been sold across the planet. Kids eat more Play-Doh than crayons, finger paint, and school glue combined. Even though the slogan is fun to play with, not to eat, it's non-toxic, but because of the massive amount of salt, it tastes absolutely terrible. For the first 30 years, Play-Doh didn't come in plastic tubs. It came in cardboard cans with metal bottoms. The problem? If cardboard got wet, the whole can turned into mush.
In 1986, they switched to the bright yellow plastic canisters with the snap-tight lids we use today to keep it fresh forever. And that officially wraps up another wild, deep dive lesson for the day. You are officially a bit smarter than you were 10 minutes ago. You're welcome, adults.
Make sure your brains don't dry out before the next episode. Don't forget to like, subscribe, or follow, and tell a friend.
If you're a kid listening to this, you might like Jeremiah's Brain Busters more. Catch you next time on Jeremiah's Brain Masters.
See ya!